Can you
Pretty
can you
good,
see?
and then you see that, it's like, I don't know. On the GG. Yeah, I can see.
You can see my screen on Discord. Nice.
Yeah, well, I can see on
So,
stream as well.
oh, yeah, don't worry about the stream part. We're not gonna be
Okay.
looking at chat or anything like that. So,
Uh,
kind of. I see you're platinum too. So I guess the kind of immediate goal is Diamond 5, right?
yeah, and what can I say? Like, it's very inconsistent.
I see.
It's up
Interesting.
and down. Uh, and then I've had like 10 game win streak, and then like 8 game loss streak, and yeah, back and forth.
So you normally play
Oh
like
yeah, pretty hard to say.
Tristana. Actually, I can't really tell.
Yeah, exactly. I play. Lately I've played Tristana, and mainly Tristana, but earlier I played like Caitlyn. Okay, so at the start of the season I played Varus, right? And that's why
Okay.
he's the most played. And then I played Caitlyn and Saya, I think. And now I've gone over to like Tristana, and now like lately I've played some Saber and Caitlyn and Twitch also. Yeah, Tristan and
Okay.
Twitch are going way better, obviously. Than the
Okay.
others.
Interesting. So I guess it seems like you said the problem is consistency, right?
Oh yeah.
So I guess we'll definitely be able to see what's going on in your games. Yeah, I see you uploaded a bunch, so we can even if
Yeah,
it's any
well,
kind of specific part of the game, we can even do a bunch of those. So
I took the first two are the ones that the 101, which looks very weird, but it's actually an entire game, like a 24-minute game, and I go no, it's 25-minute game, and I go 101.
wait, which game
It's
is
the
this?
second one. It's the
Uh,
second one on this playlist, I think.
this one?
No,
Uh,
from the top.
this one?
Second one from the top. That's the
Okay.
first.
Wait, I was so confused. The 24 minutes and 50 seconds,
This one,
right?
that one.
Okay.
You're on it. Good.
Let me get my headphones real quick. We're gonna kind of see what's going on here.
I think
right.
that's the game. Right?
So we go 101.
I
Interesting.
got 101 and I have 40%.
I mean, that is a good score line, unless there have been like 30 kills or something like that. Then it could be kind of weird.
40% kill participation.
Oh, interesting.
It's
let's
a beautiful
take a
game.
look at this. So, what do you think your weaknesses are besides, kind of consistency? Is it like laning? Is it mid game, team fighting, late game? What's going on?
A lot of like when I watch your coaching sessions, a lot of people say that their weakness is laning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, well, I mean, it's not really laning. So I'm actually, I think laning is not good, right? I've had problems with laning, but right now I think it's all right. My laning, in general, I have a lot of problems to know when I should group with my team and where to farm in the mid game, especially when I'm losing. When I'm winning, it's a bit better, but when I'm losing and my team is losing, I'm like, I want to get gold so that I can carry, but at the same time, I have to be there for my team.
Okay, so here's some pop quiz time. All right, so let's say the enemy team group top, right? It's 5v4. They're sieging your tower. Your bot side. What do you do?
I push.
Right, you push until hell freezes over because there's no way you're gonna get the top in time, right? Okay, let's say they pop Rift Herald top on the enemy team. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, I would push the wave in and then back.
And why would you back?
Well, because it depends on where are they. Are they on the outer turret?
Maybe outer turret.
You say outer turret. I probably need to. Yeah. Oh god, no. Don't look at that.
We'll talk about this after, but
yeah. So, no, well, I think I would have to be there to help defend the inner turret.
Right. So what's the difference? Right, is that you were needed.
Yeah.
Right. So in a nutshell, that's basically kind of how it goes. But in terms of kind of how do you define I'm needed? It's like if you're there, the outcome changes.
Yeah.
Right, that's kind of how you want to look at it. And then the other side is if you go there, nothing changes. Well, that's how you know you're not needed, right? So that's kind of the idea behind going to help versus going to go, farm. But I'm sure we'll be able to see some examples, right? So okay, what happened here? What happened here?
I was a bit too greedy for the poke. I'm like, oh shit, I'm up against Sayer Khan. There's such a scary all in. Oh, I want to get as much poke as possible. When they're on the turret, and then I go too deep.
So how do you?
I fucked up my E. Yeah.
So how do you fix this? I guess.
Don't greed for the. Don't greed for the poke, and be aware of the Rakan.
It's like, I think that's not entirely incorrect, but if you want to
move up like that.
Right. So there are a few pieces of information I think you're missing here. Okay, so you can do something like this, right? As long as you have, but the amount of stuff you need to do in order to make this work is like really hard, right? So not only you're like, oh, I have to use my net to dodge Rakan W, right? Not only does that have to work, right? In the sense of he's gonna W super far behind you and you can't net into it or something like that. You also have to not chase when you're right clicking, and you also have to know at what point can you hit him without getting hit by tower, right?
Yeah.
So if he's standing here, this is fine, right? What if he's standing here?
If he's standing out there,
like where my cursor? Can you see my cursor?
I can.
So where this minion is, what if he's standing there? Can you hit him?
Wait, I think I can see cursor. What minion are you talking about?
Not sure. Like this range minion. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
the
it's like maybe so it's getting kind of not sure. The thing is, you have to know if you want to do this, right? So the reason why this doesn't work is because we're too deep, right? You would know that. You should know that this is too deep, right? Or honestly, it's just too deep. But I think the big problem is that when you want to go for pressure / poke, right? You right click them. And then you auto attack, and then you leave, right? So what happens if they walk backwards? You also have to walk backwards. You have to stop chasing them. So you're right, in the sense that maybe greeting for poke is technically right, but I don't think that really helps you change the way you play, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's like, oh, we could never go for poke, but I also think that's not quite right either. It's like if you want to go for poke,
I think the reason
gotta specify how. You're dead here.
What?
Oh, you should be dead here. Oh. What happened here? Not only does he not have pillar or flash for some reason, the Xayah also missed everything. Interesting. Okay, so wait, what were you saying, by the way?
I think the main reason why I pointed out that I got greedy for poke is because normally because normally I kinda know the ranges, except for like this, where I net into him again. Jesus.
Well, I guess this is the idea of, I think we're trying to do too much in laning. So it's interesting because you did mention, when you're watching the other videos, I'm always like, oh, laning's not a problem. But I think we're making some kind of, this could be specifically against Saber Khan, but I think we're kind of
I'm very bad against all in.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I used to be that kind of player too. So the idea is kind of you want to make sure that when you fight, when you hit people, right, or when you get in range of stuff, there's no way you're gonna get caught, or there's no way they're gonna all in you for whatever reason. Like you have your net ready to counter his knockup or whatever. But that's the first goal before you do anything else. Like before poking or trading or anything like that, you have to make sure that you can't get all in and you can't die, right? Because I think every time you've tried to hit them, the first time we lost heal on for our Nami. The second time we lost flash at the tower, right? And the third time we should die to this game. So I think that maybe specifically against all in, we might have to take a look at what's going on, right? And then for you, it could be something like, oh, let's just focus on farming, because no matter what happens. No matter what happens, you want your perfect farm anyways, right? No matter what happens in the laning phase, you want to come out with really good farm or some kind of money, right? So that might be something we want to take a look at. in terms of laning, because it does become a problem if, say, for example, jungle ganks and then he gets a kill, he goes mid. You guys might be upset, right? So in that sense, there could be a problem. But looks like we weren't punished, so maybe it isn't a problem. Maybe it isn't a problem yet, but I think definitely punishable.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm sure we'll see the other games too, what happens in the laning phase. But okay, this gank doesn't work. Tell me why this gank doesn't work.
Well, first of all, we're pushed in, so we're very far away. So, for example, Nami can't follow up on anything. We have no CC.
Being pushed in is not necessarily a hard reason it doesn't work. Like, what's a hard reason this doesn't work?
Right. Nami cannot CC. She's not in range for CC.
Right. There's no way to stop them from walking away. Right. Yeah. So that's how we know it's impossible. So what should you try and do to help your team? I guess because League is very much a team game. Have you heard that before? Everyone's saying it like left and right on Reddit. It's very true. League is a team game. So if we spot anything that's like really good, ping forward, or really bad back ping, we should try and point it out not only to ourselves but to our teammates too. So. This could only end up in disaster, right? Counter gank is GG. So recognizing it's not gonna work is good, right? At least we didn't, try and full on chase all the way. But yeah, there's no way this works, right? Even if you bubble him, there's no way it works. You don't even have Lee Sin 6, so interesting gank by your jungler, but not really your fault, right? So not bad, I guess. As long as nothing went wrong, it's like, okay. What a bubble.
W.
What happened here, though? Oh, no, what happened here? Okay, let's talk about this. So, what happened here? Describe to me what happened here.
My support went to clear a ward, and then their support engaged on my support.
Which was successful, right?
Oh, and she bubbled Saya.
Right, so who's winning in that outcome?
We are.
And why is that?
Because she got a bubble on their ADC. Now the problem is I didn't see this at the time.
Okay. So...
I actually did not see that Saya got bubbled. So that's
So there are a few things here. You're absolutely right that you're winning, right? So who should you be hitting? Let's say she didn't land this bubble. Who should you be hitting?
I should be hitting... Should I be hitting Saya?
Right, and why is that?
Because I sent her away.
Right, so it's the classic 2v2 where if they focus your support and you guys focus their ADC, you guys are winning, right? Because they're gonna kill your support and then their ADC has like 20 HP left and then you finish them off, right? You've seen that a bunch of times, right? So whenever you see something like this and you're not gonna insta kill Rakan, right? You guys don't really have a way to insta kill Rakan. You're gonna be aiming the AD carry, right? With as much damage as you can. Something like traps or Q or E or whatever, anything works. But here we just didn't see the bubble, right? So just unfortunate, I think. Oh my God, she stepped on a trap. Wait, oh no.
I did.
I think our screen was just like kind of positioned.
I think I hit her.
Strangely.
I'm pretty sure.
Right. We did hit her.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting fighting going on. So maybe it could be something to do with something we could work on is like Caitlyn, fighting in general, or rather like in a mechanical sense as well, right?
Yeah.
Because I think.
Oh no.
What were you saying?
Oh no. No, this is I missed the shot on her.
Oh yeah, that was unlucky. But sometimes it happens. The toggle, the hit champion only button. Yeah. That's a thing. I think we just saw you guys get engaged on, but right, fighting is definitely something we could take a look at, right? Because in this case, if they engage on your support, who do you go for again?
Do I go for the AC?
Right, always. You put a trap in front. Like, what's the goal here?
To zone Saya away, or
right, you guys are losing, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys are losing, you need to stop the damage, right? Because so there are two parts to a fight, right? The engage and the damage, generally speaking. So Rakan's the engage, and then she's the damage. So you can aim the engage if you can stop it. Like let's say for example, they have a Leona, you have a Thresh. Thresh can aim Leona with his Flay because he can stop her E, right?
Yeah.
But let's say the Leona combo went through already. There's no point in flaying Leona, right? You want to use the Flay on the AD carry. So in this case, we want to aim the AD carry, right? And this is a very general idea in terms of playing against all-in as well, right? If they all-in your support, there's no point in aiming the tank unless, you know, you're going to kill him, right? You have a Morgana, Alistar is 30%, you're going to kill him, right? Otherwise, you need to aim the AD carry, right? That would be a thing to look at in terms of fighting, right? This shit happens, not your fault at all. But one thing we can do to try and save his ass is trap Xayah, net Xayah, anything like that, right? But he's likely gonna die anyways because Xayah can just press R. So that's just one kind of idea we can look at, right? So we're not necessarily making stupid mistakes, right? In terms of, well, we dying to gank or anything like that, or walking into their tower or something like that. But we are missing opportunities, I think.
Yeah.
Like when Nami bubbled or when.
And
oh my
I
god.
didn't Q there either. Like what the heck?
Well, what happens if
because
you
we
Q
can-
here? What happens if you Q here?
Oh yeah, I don't even think I will hit that because
Right. Why can't you hit him?
because he will jump to Saya.
Right, so it's correct to not Q,
Yeah.
because it's impossible. It's
Yeah,
impossible to
I
hit.
totally
Right,
planned, and
right.
I didn't Q right after when he jumped away. No.
It's about, you know, the mechanics aspect is kind of
Man.
making sure that we, for Caitlyn, is making sure that when we use abilities, you can't miss, right? And on CC, we chain with net. I mean, we chain with trap, right? That's pretty much all you need to do for Caitlyn, right? So I think the stuff we're missing is kind of you know, watching the bubble, right? And making sure that, you know, we're not getting caught by Rakan, I guess, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the other stuff, it seems fine, like you hit the net and everything like that, but it's just like the idea of, oh, you should aim the AD carry when they engage on your support. I think that's like an aspect of gameplay we're missing here, because that happened twice already. So
actually, yes.
fast forward past this, you guys are just gonna try and push and base, sure. I think that's fine.
I think that's gonna be like the game, pretty much. Push
Oh,
and
really?
base. Nah, I'm not.
Oh, but it's push and base.
No, it's not just push and base. Yeah, you can probably jump.
What?
No, I think there's
Why did
gonna be stuff here.
They swapped. Why did they swap?
I didn't know. I was really confused about that. Because I thought that was good for us, but now it's
debated.
a bit...
Okay, you guys have more people here. Maybe you can make this happen. It's not working. This is not working. Oh, maybe it is working. Oh my god, it is working.
Oh, it's gonna be so sad.
No, he got ulted. Yeah, there's no way.
I
no.
There either. So yeah.
Okay, let's kind of take a look at this. This is actually really clever. You know, I had no idea why they swapped, but now looking at it, it looks like a fast kind of.
Yeah, this is really painful.
Fast play, really tricky in terms of what they're doing here. Really interesting. I'm gonna actually save this for future use. So they swapped, trying to. Yeah, it's really interesting. They definitely didn't set this up, but basically they kind of baited you into hitting the tower, right? And then instantly try and kill someone. Actually, it looks not bad for you guys because you have more people, but then they just kill Nami or whatever, right? So let's watch what we're doing here. Okay, so we have the flash, the Veigar. I think that's fine. And then maybe we can see if we can help. Nope, not really. And then it looks kind of disaster. So the best you can do is just press W, right? Which is what we do. And then nothing. Okay, that's fine, right? This game is kind of weird. So basically the only things we could have, well, maybe not the only things, but some of the things, the majority of the things we could do better is the kind of idea of fighting on Caitlyn, I think. Oh my god, this guy's dead. Dude, nice Q, right? Basically, that's perfect, right? You just hold on to it until you can't miss. So I don't think it's really a problem with mechanics. It's more of a, what do you do against all-in lane, like you said, right? Because I think a lot of times we're like walking up, letting them, getting in range of their engage, right? Or when they engage on your support, we are making, I think, suboptimal fighting calls, right? In terms of who do we aim, right? We're not targeting the right guy. So guess, you know, in general terms, if they engage on your support, it's just like, if you can hit the AD carry, that's best case scenario, right? And if you can't, that's fine.
Right.
But if you can, you should, right? And then when you're trying to poke, remember that your first priority is to not get engaged on. So you can only poke as long as they can't engage on you, right? So
Oh,
like
nice.
like times at the tower, would be something like, oh, you can't hit them unless, you know, Rakan can't go on you. So wait, what happened here? We can talk about this when it comes to this fight.
Should I have gone there directly?
Right.
should've,
Why?
right?
Why would you? Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Because maybe I could help.
Right. Why would you not ulti? I guess would be the question.
Oh, why would I not ulti? Because he's got ult.
Right. Exactly. So it doesn't do anything, right? So here, you know, if we just walk up, we can pop his ult and then we can ulti, for example, right?
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure it would kill him either way, but yes.
you would,
It's
I think you
obviously
would have gotten
better.
him, right? If you just like walk up, you would already be like
Yeah,
right here or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
So
walk
basically, even if you wouldn't have gotten him, it's the better habit to not use your ulti,
Definitely.
right? Yeah. Sure, there are some kind of fighting ideas we could take a look at, but okay, I think you have to base it because you don't know what Trundle is, right? I think that's
Yeah.
fine.
I don't know where Trundle is, and
Right. I don't know what
I
this
was
lead's
scared
doing,
of,
but interesting. I don't know what he's doing, but
I
it's
don't
not
know.
good.
Should I try to defend this turret? Because I don't.
Right,
Try
that's
to
not your
defend this. I
not
just
quite
go-
your job, but
Yeah,
if you were to defend this, how do you do it?
I'd set traps, but mainly every time I go up against a Tryndamere like that, especially like he's 2 level up on me, I just die.
So if
I don't
he
even
does
have
not have flash, how do you win? Or if he does not have flash, what do you do?
Like, I set up traps, and poke him from range. Maybe
Right.
I don't know if I even can get to the minions because
And then you won't. But if he spins on you, what's your response? That's like the big kind of the big
EW.
question. Right, EW. So then you know that
Yeah.
you're guaranteed to win. Where specifically do you trap?
Well, right in front of him. Like,
Wait, if you EW and you trap in front of him, he has a
like,
chance of walking past it, right? Like how consistent can you make that?
I mean, if I E and then like W, how should I explain this? Like, half of the trap is in front of him. Like he's on the trap. Half.
Right. So is there any way we can make this 100%? Because they can always go sideways or something like that, right?
If you put it right on him, does that mean it's that 100%?
Right. It's not always like I cannot do that 90 times out of 100, right? Can you do that 90 times out of 100? If he spins on you, you EW and then he does something else. It might miss, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So against melee champions, I guess, how do you make sure that the trap will always hit them if they chase you? Is the real question, right? Against a ranged champion, what you just described is very good. Yes, put it on top of ourselves, right? So there's no way they can touch you, right? That's how you can save this. Is you hit him until he has to spin on you, and then you do that, and then you kill him, or you would hit him and he leaves, and you just clear the wave, right? But going to help, how do we know this doesn't work?
There's not even a fight.
Right. If you show up, it's not guaranteed that you showing up will change anything. Like we fast forward, we do nothing, right? So it's true that it's not your job to stop this, but if you can, you should anyways. But yeah, let's say for example, this is like Hecarim and he's like level 11, you're gonna die. Then you can't. You literally cannot. Right? But
I don't know if he has flash up. Why? No, wait. Did he flash earlier?
Even if he has, we would assume he has flash, right? But let's say he does have flash, then you know how many traps do you put down? You can put one here, and then EW one here, right? We can put down a lot of traps so that it would not be possible for him to get us unless he 3-shots us. We're not there yet though. So yeah, I think it's possible for us to stop him, but not necessarily your job, right? I think the idea we're looking at here is kind of I think we're in like a not bad spot in terms of money, and you know when we're fighting, like HP is fine. Not really at a numbers disadvantage. I think it's kind of interesting in terms of something kind of not quite right when we're fighting. I would say on Caitlyn at least, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean in general, I'd say.
But also, this game
But
is going to shit.
definitely,
What's
definitely.
going on? What is
This is
going
so
on?
sad. No, I don't want to see this.
This
Look
should
at
be
that.
fine,
Look
right?
at that trap.
Oh,
Look at that trap.
right. So that's actually exactly why we say put on top of ourselves. What just happened right here, right? Is
Yeah.
That's why we can't put it like that. Like I
Yeah,
said,
that's not the
he's
trap
gonna
I'm
he's gonna
talking
do
about,
that.
though.
Oh, you're talking
This
like
is
right
the
in front of
trap.
him.
This is the trap I'm talking about. Oh my god.
That's
What is
tragic.
that?
Yeah, it's kind of
It's so
awkward.
sad. Oh, she dies because of it. I can't even get him.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, so there's some interesting Caitlyn ideas we can talk about, but
Oh my god.
it's really interesting. But I think it's kind of a
And then I walk into this one. Oh god, I didn't remember this game being so awful, but
no.
but it's coming back to me.
It's really unfortunate. Okay, so if you guys are losing, what would be the reason? What would you say?
The reason we're losing?
Yes.
Well, when we're not winning the team fights.
Okay, why are you not winning team fights? That would be a very big reason.
I'm not. Am I supposed to say that I'm not doing enough damage?
No. You're doing.
Okay.
You should be doing good
More,
enough.
but,
right?
Okay.
But looking at this team comp, what's wrong with this picture?
Well, they have a pretty nice team comp, and we have a quite a mess.
Yeah, you don't really have a top laner.
No.
It's like this is kind of if you guys lose this, you don't really worry about this, right?
Okay.
So I wouldn't worry about this too much. It's like AP zero mid, and I think the game has been pretty much disaster. But if there are things to look at, right? I don't think laning phase was so disaster that it's something you should work on. It's more of when you're fighting, I think you should be thinking about the things you should be doing mechanics wise, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, if he goes on us, what do we do? You need to trap yourself, right? Because you can tell me now during the coaching session, but I don't think we trapped ourselves once when we're trying to like fight Tryndamere / Trundle, right? Or against engage, if they engage someone else, the best course of action is hit the backline. 2v2, right? 2v2.
Yeah.
Those are like the things we can look at. But,
yeah, there's nothing more like we used to lose.
Right. This I think we didn't really make any kind of major mistakes. It's not this game isn't really your fault. It's just that your top laner is so far behind. You guys need to scale to win this game, but clearly we couldn't scale long enough, right? And sure, we could have stayed bot with Tryndamere, but I think the game has been so messed up that he shouldn't be allowed to do this most of the time, right? You guys just didn't have a top laner, so if there's really anything to look at, it's our fighting on Caitlyn, right? EW. Remember, you told me like 2 minutes ago you're gonna EW, but we don't do it here. So it's about.
I think at this point I'm a bit like.
Right, tilt. Yeah. I know what you mean. So this is not something you worry about, right?
Okay.
If you're working on like as long as you're working on something in terms of improving, right? We're gonna work on laning phase, or we're gonna work on something, and you got that done, right? You say, we're gonna make sure we have 0 deaths this game. I think this is fine, right? This is just you call this unlucky because it is, right? You can't win every game.
There's another game, the first game.
The first game.
That one.
Right, I think that's
So this one.
you don't really want to worry about that. All right, so this is Saber, so different champion. Also, if you have a consistency, problem too, you need to stick to 2 champions. As well. Right.
Like especially when I look at my Tristana, and you don't want to see my Saber win rate, so we won't look at that. I hope.
Right. That's definitely something to help with consistency, right? Because we talked about mechanical problems on Caitlyn, and those are usually fixed if you only play Caitlyn, for example.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say definitely stick to like 2 champions, but that's kind of the first step. So what's going on here? At least you have the skin, dude. This skin is pretty nice.
Yeah, and I changed my name today. It's amazing. It's amazing what RP can do for you.
Nice. So, I guess against these guys, they're not, all in champions.
No, they want to trade. I don't really want to trade. I'm very uncertain what I'm supposed to do in this matchup.
Okay. when you have a Rakan, what can Rakan do?
All in, and like can't he trade? Right? Like
He can,
normally,
yeah,
but
he
not
can't. He
against
can't really
Soraka,
trade. Yeah, he
but
can't really
not
trade.
against Soraka, right?
So he can all in, which
Yeah.
is I would say not until level 6. So what does he do
Right.
before level 6?
Well,
right? Why would I say all
you'll
in is at
find
level
out
6?
that in this elo he can do it way earlier than that. But
Well, you see my other coaching videos, right?
Yeah.
When I talk about like categories of laning phase.
Yeah.
So I personally describe Rakan as some kind of catch because you can dodge his engage, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea behind catch is that it's dodgeable, right? It's engage that's dodgeable, right? So I would say that he's more of a catch, but even if he catches someone, I don't think you guys can really kill anyone. You're playing Saber. So not too much you can do here except what's your goal?
Farm.
Right, your goal is to make money. So anything that is not included in that and is not catch is something we're doing wrong. So how much HP do we have?
Half.
Right, so how do we prevent that? Let's see, let's take a look in terms of what we're doing here.
Like I'm contesting the push and I shouldn't.
Right, exactly. So why shouldn't you contest the push?
Because I will lose a lot of HP and I won't be able to I'll push her anyways.
Right, is that you literally just cannot. Right.
Yeah, and I was a bit uncertain if I was gonna be able to contest the push like in speed, but then I realized like at this point that no.
Mm-hmm. And then what happens here that we're not doing? What's something here that we're not doing?
Trading. Oh, wait,
right,
what?
and we said we didn't want to trade, right? So
yeah,
that's the big idea, right? Even if she missed Q and she threw an auto attack, that's still losing, I think, right? Unless you're baiting for a con engage, which I also think is not working there.
No.
So basically, we just have no HP because we're doing the things we said we didn't want to do, right?
Yeah.
And we only want to go in when?
When I can get free farm.
No, we only want to fight them when.
Oh yeah,
I guess, is the better question.
When we're on equal terms or when they are in a bad position.
When what happens? What has to happen for you guys to fight? There could be several reasons, but 2v2. Yes, when Rakan hits his W, maybe he hits both of them. That'll be a very clear indicator, right?
Yeah.
Like here, right? This would be maybe we can go in, but probably not because
but I
gotta Rakan's all in is like I don't know. It doesn't seem good enough, right? Even if you ignite there, we're not gonna kill him. So it just ends up being a super big trade, and we know that trade's not good for us, right? You need like another person here, or Rakan has to land knockup or something. So if you're not doing any of those, then our goal is just get as much money as we can, right? So anything that's along the lines of not doing that, we already know, right? We already know we're kind of making some kind of matchup mistake. Oh, here we go. This is a kill, right? So this is when you go in. Oh no!
But I don't go in.
Right. So what happened here? How come we didn't get it?
Because I didn't flash in for basic and then reset.
What? How to do your maximum theoretical damage without using flash?
Basic reset on W and Q.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. So what did we miss here?
Reset, maybe.
Right, we didn't auto attack reset. So that's why we didn't get her, right? You can even say, they're gonna heal, but your ignite is ticking, so we can run her down with 2 more auto attacks, right? So I think that would work. It's just that I think we're missing some kind of mechanical follow up on your champions because one of the biggest reasons is that you just too many different champions in the match history is what I think, right? That's one of the biggest indicators that you're having consistency issues with mechanics specifically, right? This happens to anyone. It's not just you. It's literally me too. Like if I ever do something like this, you'll see me lose, right? Because we're making basic mechanical errors, right? So our job is, the reason why they say support dictates lane a lot of times is because they have to start stuff, right? And our job is to finish it. All right, is if they start something good, we finish it, right? So if we're missing, if they find something good and we don't finish, that's kind of, we're missing free opportunities, if that makes any sense, right? Like the
Yes.
support won the lane for us, but then we kind of missed out. So even though you guys, got the flash, that was really good. I think a kill would be much different, right? In terms of now after you guys push in and base, you guys are winning, right? But now it's just back to equal, I would say.
Well,
right?
yeah, for a while.
So the first step is just pick 2 champions, only play those, right?
Yeah.
It's just like find the 2 champions you think are the most fun, because I used to switch champions a lot because it's always boring to stick to 1 or 2, but I also think losing every game is like
I used to play one champion.
pretty rip. Yeah, did you have better results with just 1 champion?
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know actually. Like I only played Oriana for 4 seasons.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah,
damn, that's crazy.
pretty much. But I wasn't even thinking about improving. Like it was just way more
Oh
casual
my
than I
God.
think right now. Yeah.
That was lit.
So,
But yeah, definitely sticking to a few champions makes it so that you'll make less basic errors. I guarantee you, okay? It's like if you switch too much, it's just like you're always gonna make some kind of mistake just because you haven't played the champion in a while, right? That's just naturally what's gonna happen, right? So to fix these, I can't even say do this, do that on this champion, because you may already know how to do that. It's just you just need to play the champion like 5 games in a row, right? Oh my God, he almost just died.
yeah,
But
I'm wondering why he stays here. But
well, we can get some hits off if she tries to. Oh, here we go. He's just trying to bait her. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But you guys might be getting ganked, so you need to leave.
yeah,
right?
I just wanted to push the wave and then back because I thought that Warwick was gonna come.
So if we just want to push the wave,
yeah, I shouldn't have even have pushed this one. I should have backed like right here.
Okay, yeah, I think why is basing good here?
Because this is a cannon wave.
No,
No.
this is true,
But I
but
want to push it in first if it's a cannon wave normally. But
in terms of wave management, if this wasn't a cannon, why would this still be a fine base?
Because she wants.
Okay, if everyone bases right now, what happens to the wave?
What happens if everyone bases?
What happens to the wave? Where does the wave go?
Oh yeah, it goes to me. Towards
right.
me.
Why is it pushing towards you?
Because it's on her side of the lane and there's equal amounts of minions.
Yes, perfect. They're meeting over here.
Yeah.
It's pushing towards you. Everyone bases. She loses 7 minions. Yeah. So we are happy with this result. But you can also say if we can push this in, then that works too. But if it doesn't work,
so it's like really...
yeah, you didn't have enough mana, so that's kind of super awkward. Right? We couldn't push it in fast enough, right? So in that case, maybe it is better to just base, right? But I don't think it's the end of the world if our wave management isn't perfect, right? But that's just something to know, is that if you notice something like that, right, it's always fine to base because it's pushing into you, right? Now it's different if they didn't base and they were going to shove it in.
Yeah,
then maybe you
I
want to
don't
stay,
know if
right?
she was gonna base. That's the thing.
All right, but the way you kind of figure it out is, let's see, we're at 720, right? So let's fast forward to here, and then you stay in this. But what is she doing right now? She canceled her base, right? So then you cancel yours, right? Is the idea? Or you can say, look at her mana and say, can she push this in?
Yeah, she wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, she can't push it in, right? So it's not possible. So whatever factors kind of tell you, it's like different every game because they're playing different champions, different situations, but you'll be able to kind of plug in these variables and figure out, is it pushing? Can she push? Whatever. You'll be able to see her options, right? If she's playing Vayne, definitely can't push, right?
Yeah.
Playing Caitlyn, no mana, same thing. Is he playing Ezreal, not level 6? Same thing, right? Oh my God. Right, so okay, we already used our W here.
Yeah.
This is fine. If you using W to push this is perfectly fine, right? It's not you're not supposed to save this, right? We didn't know he could land this kind of engage, so this is a-okay. Oh, using your E for trap is very nice. You don't have heal, so you couldn't get him. Unfortunate, but you had the right response, right? That was a good response. All right, basically perfect. So we have no problems there. It's just the other stuff earlier that missed opportunities, right? Like we said. Yeah, this is all champion specific stuff. So I don't think we're doing anything kind of unreasonable in terms of lane phase. The only thing we could really talk about is like CSing, right? What happened to our CS?
Yes. In general, that's a thing.
Right. Remember that should be your number one, number two priority, right?
I think he's extra bad in this game. I got pushed in and then like W'd and stuff. No, it's really bad. Oh yeah, and I'm slowly but surely muting everyone in the team.
Yeah, that's good because if they have nothing useful to say, you mute them, right? But you know, stuff like this, try and prevent, right? Because it may not look like it, but it's gonna add up a lot. Like this happened to me 2 days ago when I was like, "Holy shit, why's my CS so poor?" It's because I was missing random CS every wave, right? So the best piece of advice is just be patient, right? Don't even just wait until the minion gets low before you hit it, right? And then you're good to go. Here, going to ward, excellent. I think it's very good.
I did want to do a deeper ward, but then I was like, oh, am I gonna be in time for the wave?
Entrance is fine, right? You don't need to do anything super deep, right? It's probably.
Blue.
Oh yeah, it's probably fine to not go for that, right? I mean, you guys just saw ward too, so this guy's gonna die. What the hell? Kill his ass. Okay. Let's take a look.
Maybe.
Well, we did hit the auto W, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you just fight. Oh my God!
I didn't expect
Talon
that.
is straight
that
boost.
Was extremely unexpected, I would say.
That was straight boost. Wow, everyone's down here. Oh my God, that Lee Sin kick missed. Okay, well, there's nothing left here, so everyone just. Oh my God, free heal. Oh, he's dead. Oh my God. You guys...
No, he isn't.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right, let's back it up. Let's see.
Oh my God.
What's going on here?
I wasn't ready for that because I thought.
That's actually you can't get her because she healed, right? So I think that's fine.
And oh my God.
Here we can just hit him. That's true, but actually didn't end up mattering. And then this fight goes on, and then it's like, oh, it's kind of unsafe, so we're not getting close. I think that's fine. Heal bait this guy. And then we hit him. Oh, okay, that's fine. You could not have gotten him. So, all this is fine. All this is fine, right? This is okay, right? We're still in a good spot. What is going on here? He does not win this. They are all gonna die. No, he aimed the wrong guy. Okay. Oh, that was almost disaster, but so far so good in this game, right? Yeah. The only things we can look at is like sure laning. We shouldn't be, doing what our matchup says don't do, right? But honestly, even though that can be improved on as long as we're not dying or we're not getting dove because of it or anything like that, it's not a problem yet, right? So say when you're playing against all-in champs and you're dying because you're not respecting their engage, then that's something to take a look at, right? But I think we haven't really been, mega punished. So not like the end of the world. The thing you want to look at is like, what happened here? What is this, right?
I queued.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
so you wanna, if you should be patient for your CS because if you're 1-0-1, and you guys are doing well in lane, you should have like at least 110 CS, right?
Yeah,
at this point in time.
Yeah. I should, but also we weren't actually doing that well in the early parts of the lane. But yeah.
Okay,
I was flashed.
Right. That's fine. But we were getting to like this section of the game. Yeah. Definitely don't miss if you can help it. Wow, free kill. I think we're dying here though.
It's alright.
He missed his. You see this Q? Check this out. Oh my God, dude. He had like a stroke or something. Good find by us though. Oh my God, he's dead. What is he doing?
I didn't get the.
There's a Talon here, but Talon apparently doesn't know you're here. Dude, this is whatever. Whatever. This game is really weird.
I'm telling it to back here. I don't know.
Basing is good because Talon's here.
Yeah.
But it seems like we're doing the same things consistently, at least, right? We're doing the same thing every game. So if there's a problem with
there is gonna be a problem soon, though.
Yeah, if there's a problem, it's gonna be fighting team fights, mid game, late game. That's what we're gonna look at, right? Because even though it's not the best, the outcome is very good for laning, I would say, right? In
Yeah.
these games, right?
I'm not sure. Maybe this game. No. Okay. Yeah. Here's a.
We're just gonna die here, right? How do you know you're gonna die here?
I don't even know where he. Well, there are 5 people, I think, when they came down here.
Right. So how do you know there are 5 people?
I think I saw.
They all walked down. They all walked
They all
down,
walked
right?
down.
So
Yeah.
things to mention is that when they have things like Twisted Fate, Gangplank, Kled, Aurelion Soul,
Rengar
Talon,
every
right?
time.
Quinn, yeah, exactly. All that stuff, they're coming for you. Okay, that's what you need to think. Katarina, all this stuff that can roam, they're coming, right? Or just basic any of those champions. Not they don't even have to be those champions. It could be Orianna even, because millions push. They're coming for you. So I think to avoid this kind of stuff, you just look at the map.
Yeah.
Right, and then you would have known, right? Before you hit the tower, you say, "Who can stop us?" And then you're like, "Oh, they're all coming by."
Right.
Then you don't hit the tower, right? Because you can get the kill and leave, right? You're not kind of committed to getting the kill. You're not forced to die, if that makes any sense, getting this kill. So even though this is not the end of the world because you guys killed Caitlyn, it's like still could be better, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting because we don't really see any major. We don't really see any of the usual major flaws in gameplay, right? It's just sometimes we have.
And that's the thing I have a problem with, because when I look at your coaching sessions, right? I'm like, oh yeah. Wait, but like I kinda implement these things often, like tend to, when I don't like do stupid shit like don't look at the map. But then I still like get absolutely smashed in games. This game is like, yeah.
You guys down to work, I think here, or it's they're kind of doing the same thing here too. It's really interesting. I think you can just walk away though, right? Okay, nice. So
I don't know.
First,
but
sorry, what were you saying?
I'm thinking if this game might also be a bad example.
No, this is good. This is good, right?
Okay.
Because just coaching is about building good habits, right? And being part of being a complete AD carry package is not only you're not giving up advantages in lane, mid game, late game, whatever, but you're also using that money to carry the game later, right? So if you're in a position to do something, right, then you can. These are good games to look at, because if you lose this, we can say we could have won this, right? Because you're extremely far ahead of their bot lane now. So there's always a way to kind of figure out how you can push your advantage, right? So oh my god, you're just killing them over and over again. Oh, and then here comes Warwick. You just hit this guy. You guys should win. You can even pop ulti if you want. Oh no, he's out. That's fine. Here's push tower. Sure. You can even push another wave if you really want to. Oh my god, he has no ulti. What is he doing? Wow, that was a sick Rakan W. This guy is on fire. Push this out. You base. Sure. You can even run mid, right? Any lane works. All right, whatever. Lee Sin dies. We don't really care. Timo wants mid, so I guess he went bot. Sure.
I think I went bot because they will contest Drake, and I wanted to push up bot so they would be like they could get punched for it, right? And then this happened, and I was like, oh no. First I went in, and then I was like, no, this is not a good idea.
It's actually working because you almost canceled in time, but we didn't. So what happened here?
He went in 2v5.
Right. So what's the best we can get?
Well, the absolute best we can get, 5 kills and an Infernal Drakes.
Oh no! Like, what's the best you can get that's like consistent?
Yeah.
Right.
Consistent in this situation. Damage on them.
Right. You just hit them and run like hell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we got a good damage, but I mean this wasn't a reasonable. But actually, it turned out well in this one. But I think it's their fault, like them doing poorly. Not that it was good.
Right. So the big idea is that if you see something like this and you're like, I can't follow up for whatever reason, like we're gonna die because they focus us or they turn, then you just do everything you can as long as you don't die.
Yeah.
Right? Because most of the time in solo queue, it is true that dying for big damage can be worth. Right.
Yeah.
But only in specific circumstances, like, oh, your team is here to follow up, TP's coming in, Teamos are going to clean up. So if we suicide, they focus us, we do all this damage, it works. Not going to work in solo queue, okay? most of the time it's not gonna work in solo queue. So you just need to stay alive as the carry, right? So here, throwing a Q out, that's already winning. You just need to leave. So I think it's just really weird because usually if you back out now, you're good. But they just have like Quinn and Talon and something. So it's just like strange, right? You can say, oh, we should have used their E specifically for Quinn, but I don't think it's very reasonable to point that out, right? Because there could have been, Warwick Flash, there could have been a lot of stuff going on here, right? Soraka could have even Flash silenced you, right, or something like that, and we'd have problems. But the big idea is, it's good that you knew you should have gotten out, right? So I would not worry about this too much, but definitely 2v5 is like it actually looked kind of close in terms of making it worth it or not.
And
but
the thing is that they actually don't get Drake because of this.
Right, because you guys stopped it.
It's not something I would do again.
Right, it's not consistently good because they could have killed you and then turned around and then probably started drink again.
Yeah, it was there. They could have done that this time as well. They just didn't.
Right, so really the big idea we're looking at is we're doing good. It's just you need to stick to a few champions because there are basic mechanics issues that are popping up. And even though we're doing good, kind of theory wise, if we can't really fight, then all that theory doesn't really do anything, right? The basic foundation is built upon the premise that we can actually do something with our money, right? So it's not like it's a disaster. It's just there's a difference between having like 3 games on Saber and 20 games on Saber, right? Like you wouldn't have missed that Soraka kill, or maybe we're target our spell shield for Quinn E or something like that. But think the thing that'll help you the most right now is definitely stick to one champion, right? And then what happened here? I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what happened here. Maybe? Yeah, wait, hold on. What's the idea behind this?
I think Eka dived in. I wanted to follow up, and then I should not have gone past the turret. I should have got stuck to killing the turret.
Yes, and why is that?
Because that's consistently good.
Right, you hit the closest thing.
And I don't die for it.
Right. So basically anytime that's not hit the closest thing, it's a play that's gonna work no matter what. Like you're gonna flash auto attack, cancel on Caitlyn, she's gonna die, right? That would be an example of something that could work, but we're not there yet. So if it doesn't work, then you just hit the closest guy, right? So here I think I'm not really sure what happened here, but you just need to not dive with him, right? If he dies for the tower, I think that's fine. But if you die trying to help him, it doesn't really make sense, right? We actually don't die here somehow, right?
I do die.
Oh, we do die. Oh, we died of bleed or something?
No, what? I didn't die.
It's kind of weird though.
Yeah, I should
it's not. You should have died for sure. And we lost our flash, which is extremely important when you're the strong person on the team, right? You definitely don't want to fight this guy. Oh no, you're gonna die here if you don't dodge his Q.
I'm very bad against Quinn and Rengar and Nocturne. I think those 3 champions are the same category.
Yeah, so this is kind of
random.
How do we talk about this? So it's really interesting because I think your problems stem from kind of we have issues follow up on champions. I think that's solved just by sticking to 2 champions, okay? That's what I think. I could be wrong, but if we stick to 2 champions, that'll be fixed. It should be fixed, right? And then we do something like you don't know where they are and they come out, right? I think like with the Trundle gank the last game too, is that they come out of the map, out of fog of war, and then we end up dying because we don't know where they are. So this is just kind of you need to take a look at the map before you do anything, right? So let's say for example, what do you want to do here?
Back off.
No, like what were you trying to do here? I guess.
I don't know.
You're trying to get like another wave.
Yeah, I guess.
So the first thing you say is you look at the map, right? Whenever you want something, you have to look at the map, right? So before, when you were fighting Caitlyn and you guys killed her and then you started pushing and then all 5 of them came bot, it would be something like after you killed Caitlyn, you say, I want to hit the tower, and then you look at the map, okay? So whenever you want to do something, you have to look at the map. Otherwise, we're just going to get punished over and over again, which I think is what's happening, right? In terms of they're missing on the map, they come for you, and then you die, right? So beyond the kind of basic follow-up idea, You know, what do you do to follow up? Like you said, you're gonna auto attack, cancel, throw your Q, whatever. Like here, same thing here. Like, what do we do? What do we do wrong here? Well, what could we do better? Not that what we did wrong.
No auto attack reset.
Right, it's the same thing you did before. It's Q and then auto attack reset, right? But you kind of do a different thing every time. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird, but you do something different every time, right? Like first time I saw you throw a Q and then miss the auto cancel. This time you just like press W, but then you like don't throw a Q, right? So it's like really interesting that we do something different every time. And I think that's kind of fixed by just play the champion over and over again, right? I think that straight up fixes this problem. So this actually does go well. So
this is the end of the game. Lee got
oh, you guys actually win,
and they
right?
surrendered because Lee got a penta.
Oh Jesus. So yeah, the real big issues are like kind of sure you can say farming's not great, but honestly that's not gonna matter as much as, you know, missing basic follow-up or we're dying to the ganks, right? So let's take a look at a third game and see what's going on. Right? See if we...
Probably I played way more Tristana. Where's this? Oh no.
Right, see, it's like a different champion every game. you see what I'm saying?
I think most of them are Tristana here.
Oh, okay, okay.
Or something, but yeah, if you go one below that or something. Oh wait, did you?
Okay, Tristana,
yeah,
right?
Down.
All right, let's take a look. But yeah, I would highly recommend you to stick to very few champions. Okay, like that's what I do because it's what works. Well, at least for me. I don't like maybe someone who plays 20 hours a day can be master of 5 different champions, but that's too much for me at least, right? So basically you want to minimize your pool until you have 0 or close to 0 basic mistakes, right, when it comes to mechanics. So that's kind of the goal. And I think that the only reason you're missing stuff is because your match history showed that you don't even play these champions, right? Like how many Kaylin games do we have?
I have 50. It says something 50 something.
Well, in the last 20 games, right? Is like 3,
yeah.
right? So it's like and then in terms of Saber, it's like 3 as well, right? So it's not consistent. So consistency comes from picks as well, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about this autofill. Autofill is like whatever, but yeah, when it comes to champion picks, like we get like random Jinx games or maybe Jinx wasn't random, but what are Varys and Twitch doing here? You know what I'm saying? So you definitely need to stick to a few champions, right? Even if it's like if it's not fun, then find the champions you think are fun, but try and squeeze your pool down because we're at the rank where it's starting to matter, right? Mechanics start to matter at this rank, right? Platinum 3 and up, it's starting to matter, and then Diamond 5, Diamond 3, you need to start refining it, right? So this is the first step: is consolidate your pool, right? And then it'll be much better, right? And in terms of, I think what was consistent throughout all 3 games or all 2 games was sure farm is like a thing, but it looks like you're getting all these last hits in, right? So I think you want to look at map awareness, right?
All right.
Like whenever something happens, you need to ask yourself, you need to look at the map, right? Okay, so what would be the reason for focusing? Why it would be okay to focus Rakan instead of Jhin here, as opposed to the other games?
Because I can get free damage on Rakan, or no? But because he can get blown up with my burst.
Right, you can kill him. Right,
Yeah.
There's a difference between this. We can hit Rakan, and they were playing Zyrakan. We're playing Kaylin. We couldn't hit Rakan.
Yeah.
Or hitting Rakan was less valuable than hitting Zyra. It's because we can actually kill the engager, right? That would be the reason. But then, it's not bad. But again, we have a better response, right? So it's really interesting how you go for the AD carry in this game, but like in the other game, it's like
I think it's
like
because I
different,
see
right?
him walking up and I'm like, oh, 3 basics. I think that's.
So then, what's the basic maximum damage here then, if you want to aim Jhin? That we
like
missed
the entire time. The entire time, or now?
No, right here. If you were gonna do maximum theoretical damage, yeah, you need to use it. You need to auto attack, cancel, jump with your E, right? And then that's maximum damage, right? So we're missing something. It seems like we're always missing something, right?
Yeah.
So I really think that sticking to your few champions will fix that, right? And then on top of that, just like watch a replay or two of someone else playing that champion, and it'll be perfect, right? But it's just this idea of we're missing something. And then yeah, of course, the gank, right? Is that if they're not on the map, we tend to die to that, right? We should die here, right? Because well, our Janna dies, right? So it's still not really good. But you know, in terms of what we talked about today, what kind of method would work in terms of spotting out who could gank us?
Look at who's not on the map. What?
Right. What are you trying to do right now?
Push.
And then look at the map, right? You want to do something, and then you pause and you say, you look at the map, and you say, who's gonna stop us? Right? That's gonna directly bring your attention to the map, right? Anytime you want to do something, right? You say, oh, we wanna push this out. You look at the map, right? In terms of laning, having flash and full HP will usually tell you can survive ganks, but in certain cases like Elise and Thresh, you're gonna die even if you have flash, right? So it's super important to take a look at the map, right? Whenever you want to do something, because I'm pretty sure every time they've come out, you didn't know they were coming, right?
Yeah, but I think that's a bit favor of the day, actually. Like when I did these VODs. Normally I very rarely die to ganks.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
I think it's more today. I've been really like, yeah.
I see. It was just like a brain fart kind of.
Yeah, I don't
thing,
know.
right?
Like, so, it's a weird daily tilt in one area. I don't know.
Interesting.
I've done that with laning before, like absolutely atrocious laning. One day, for example. That was a horrible day as well. In terms of games, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but I think if this is like, if it's like something different every day, then it's like, oh, that's kind of weird. You gotta pull it together.
Oh man, it's not different every game. Like it goes like in waves. that's the only way I can explain it. Like I had a win streak where like every game I only paid to starter. I had like pretty much very low amounts of deaths every game. And I don't know. I didn't die to ganks at all. Yeah.
But then sometimes it just like it goes away, right? So okay, so
yeah.
I guess it's about building these habits that are that you actively think of, right? Because
yes.
Since you can already do this map awareness stuff, now it's just carrying it across every single game, right? Like making it into a method that works every game. Like let's say for example, you're trying to get as much money as possible in the mid game. So your method would be something like you look at the map, you see which lane is open, you push it past the river, right? That would be kind of a method you could use every single game, right? So if you want to talk about map awareness, the method I use is I'm trying to do something, I look at the map first, right? Or in terms of basic follow-up, right? If we're doing some kind of fighting or mechanics-wise, you will say something like, if my support does this, right? If they land the catch, this is my response, right? Let's say, for example, you're playing Kayla and Alistar, and Alistar goes for the combo and the stun, and you miss all your traps.
Yeah.
Right, that happened to me. So I'm like, okay, new theory. I'm not going to trap on combo, I'm going to trap on stun only, right? And then after that, it worked every time, right? So having a specific kind of method for whenever something happens would be really good, right? That could help you in terms of consistency, right? When you're like, sure, we have problems fighting, then we say, if they do this, I do this, right? So if Rakan engages, what's your response? What's your response?
I go on to the ADC.
Right, instantly go on the ADC, or you say something like, we're gonna hold jump until Rakan ults us, and then we can jump after, right? So you'd say something like, you start autoing the Jhin, and then you jump when this stun is over, right? That would be that's what I would come up with. But if you don't have a response, then it kind of doesn't make sense. So in terms of building good habits, right, that will in turn build good. Oh, you can jump in and ulti him or something, but in terms of building good habits and getting consistent results, it's coming up with a process. Oh my god, Jenna ulti. Oh my god, kill this guy. Oh no, he's too far away. Oh no, you don't have jump, so you can't kill him. Wait, he turned around. What is going on?
Okay, so
oh my god.
I was wondering why. First, I was really confused why she cancelled her ult, and then he went back in, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I think for you that will help the most is come up with a method, right? To say you need to work on map awareness for whatever reason. Then you say for now and forever until I stop playing League. The way I look at map awareness is you want to do something, right? You say we want to push this wave. You look at the map first, right? You wanna hit the tower. You look at the map first, right? This is like what triggers you to look at the map, right? So back when I was working on my like rank 10 push or whatever, my strategy was I last hit a minion. I look at the map, right? Because I died to gank every other game. So to prevent that, I would say every time I last hit a minion, I look at the map. And then my map awareness, I was looking at the map more than I was looking at anything else, and that super increased my map awareness, right? So nowadays, I'll look at the map whenever I do anything, right? That's kind of how you build such a habit that it happens automatically, right? That's kind of what you want.
Right.
But it's kind of you have to come up with a process because when I didn't come up with this process, I would like not play for a day. I come back and I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Right? I have no idea, right? It's just you kind of lose it. So the way we don't lose it is yeah, exactly. You kind of have to start from scratch, kind of like every so often. Doesn't make sense, right? So I would say come up with a method or try out one of my methods to see how it works, right? Or to see if it works, not how it works, but if it works, right? So in terms of like basic fighting, you say, what's my maximum damage? How do I do maximum damage at level 3? And you said we're going to put a bomb on him and jump him and auto attack, right? So whenever in game, you see some kind of all-in happening, you'll know automatically your maximum amount of damage is we're gonna jump on him and use our bomb, right? Or level 6 when they're gonna engage on my support, right? And it's not a good engage. How do we respond? We know that we want to jump on him after a con charm is over, right? So it's kind of if this happens, I do this. It's kind of the fighting example that might help you the most because your response is literally different every time, I think, right? And it doesn't help that you're playing different champions, but I actually think your response is different every time. Like when we were playing Saber, I was like, wow, this is really good. You threw your Q first because it wasn't going to miss. And then your auto attack reset. But then the other times it was like throw Q without auto attack reset. And then another time it was auto attack reset without using Q. And I was just like, it's the same situation every time, but you're doing something different every time. So in terms of fighting, I think that'll help a lot is two things. If they engage on us, what's my response, right? So like you said, or like you were thinking on Caitlyn, Rakan W's, I'm going to net, right? That would be very good. Or your support lands bubble, I'm going to trap, right? That would also be very good. But if you're not kind of actively predicting these things, then I think you're starting to have mistakes, right? And then I think, for the map awareness thing, you say that it's not usually an issue, right? But if it does become a problem, right? Like I think it's becoming a problem now. You would say something like, whenever you want to do something, you look at the map. So for me, even recall counts as something. When I recall, I look at the map and I say, we're dying right now. We gotta run back to tower, right?
I think that I was looking at the map and then I looked at Jana and she was staying. I was like, oh shit.
She's just fucking dead if she just stays, but that's not your fault then, right? But I think a lot of times we kind of are not checking the map enough. I know you say it's not like usually a problem, but if it does become a problem, this is kind of how I look at it, right? How the method I come up with to fix it, right? Something that'll work every time, every game, no matter what champion you're playing, right? Like here, right? It's like you want to do something. What do you want to do? What is the thing you're trying to do right now?
In this game, it's like map awareness is a lot, I think, in this specific game. So yeah, that's a big problem in this game.
Well, honestly, like all the games that we saw today, I think, definitely a thing. Oh my god, he's like actually killing himself. What am I looking at? He's dead, but
I ulted him into Camille.
Right. I think that we didn't, we weren't actively baiting, right? And then if we're trying to push this wave out, you look at the map. I would say something like Rammus is instant death, right? Rammus for Khan is Dunzo, right? Because it's free chain CC, so there's no way you can walk up, right? That's kind of the idea. But somehow your Camille's here, he kills everyone. That's pretty insane. That's game winning, right? But I think that's just as lucky for us, right? But I think you do a really good job on whenever there's a fight you can see, you make sure you're staying safe, right? I think that's really good. It's just these games, it looks like we just have problems with like fighting and or map awareness, right? Those are the two major categories I would say we need to take a look at, right? Because even though sometimes landing's weird, you're doing really good, right? So maximum amount of damage here, right, is what? Right, see, that's what I'm saying, right? Is we're missing the basic part of it, right? So how do you guarantee this, I guess? Or what's maximum damage here?
I put my W on him. I put my cursor on him and then click W. Yes. I mean, I missed the W.
Right. But let's say you're trying to do maximum amount of damage. How would you do it?
E and then basics.
Right. We're already missing something. Right. So in terms of on Tristana, the maximum damage you can do without your ulti is you auto cancel E, auto cancel jump. Right. So if you know that, you can do that now and forever. Right. You just go and practice tool. You do it. This is what I do. I do it so many times that when the time comes, I already know what to do. Right. It's already automatic. Right. You've seen it a million times. You can do it over and over again without thinking. So, but the idea is that you have to kind of you have to do it so many times that you shouldn't really have to think about it, right? And I think that even though you've played so much Tristana, if you played 20 games of something else in between your last Tristana game, it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to play so much Twitch, and then I came back to Twitch and I'm like, wait, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, right? It's not. It kind of has to. You kind of have to remember how to play the champion, right? If you pick it if you haven't picked it in a while, right? So I would say take a look at this too in terms of mechanics and fighting, right? Because it's getting really close here. Okay, we actually got him, but it was getting super dicey at one point, right? So definitely take a look at that, right? So we got the auto cancels, and then I think we missed an auto cancel jump, but honestly, it's probably fine. But it's just strange how the way we do things is different every time. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of weird. So yeah, I'll take a look at that, right? And then anytime you want to do something, take a look at the map, right? You're like, oh, you want to hit this tire? Take a look at the map. What could go wrong? So what could go wrong here?
Well, we don't see anyone. I can't see it at the bottom right. I can't see it.
Yeah, YouTube is kind of weird. And
Jin can see
right,
Jin
so,
and Lux. And
so who's
Lux
missing?
Is in this lane. Rakan, Rammus, and who's the top laner? I don't know.
The top lane is dead. He's inactive, right?
Renee.
So then the first thing you should be thinking is, if they come out from over here or behind me, what do I do? Right. So that's what you should be thinking when you want to do this thing. And then if you don't have your ulti or you don't have flash or whatever, and you say you're gonna die, then you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would say, right? And then it's like, looks like Jenna almost died because she was trying to face check or something. But that's like the idea I think you should take a look at, right? Oh no, what happened here? So how do you know?
The story of the game.
you should let this guy die, right?
All right.
Oh, he's just fucking dead. Oh, you're dead too. What? How do you always get away?
I don't want to watch this. Man.
Oh no. Okay, so what happened here that that happened the other game too? What are we doing here that we did the other game as well?
I'm not staying safe in a fight. I'm taking a stupid fight, effectively.
Right. Why is it a stupid fight, or why is it not a good fight?
Because right now we're in 4v3. Well,
yes.
Yeah.
You have less people, just like that Inferno Dragon fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, less people, right? So, this is less about what's our response, but more about we don't want to take this fight at all, right? Because you can't really win that fight, which is clearly everyone gets run over, right? There's nothing you could do to save him. So maybe you could try something like, oh, we're gonna ulti away. What are we gonna ulti away? Like maybe we can ulti away Jin or something. I don't know. Nothing really works here, right?
No.
So you just let him die, right? So what should you do instead if you see this?
Push mid.
Right. Once you realize this is 100% Dunzo, right? You can come here to see if you can maybe help, but once you realize he's done, you just do something else, right? That's productive, right? But I think we only saw this like once or twice. I think from what I'm seeing, basic champion follow-up and map awareness would be like the big ones I'd be telling you to work on, right? After you see
Yeah,
this
but
stuff.
there's gonna be some others right here coming up, I think. Probably. Or maybe their potting mechanics definitely.
Well,
Not yet.
okay, that works.
Oh,
That doesn't work.
and I didn't
I think
nor
it's
W.
fine, right? Um, in terms of like, you know, how could you fight this better?
Yeah,
You'll say
well,
something like, "What are you using your ulti for?" Or
yeah.
I think you got heal baited here, so it was actually kind of tricky, right? It was actually kind of tricky, but you can say something like, "We're gonna ulti Rakan," or "You're gonna ulti Jin after you kill Rakan," anything like that. But that's not. This is kind of we're getting into the advanced stages, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about that. It's just the other fighting I think is good. This is actually pretty good, I would say, in terms of fighting. But the other stuff, which was more basic, like following up on Nami bubble or anything like that,
Yeah.
right? Or following up on Rakan knockup with Saber would be something to take a look at, right? Or you know, how do we kill a Jin that's ulting someone, right? So that would be something like that fight. I think was really well played. You just got tricked by heal, right? But even you almost beat it. But I think you have bigger fish to fry, right? So here looks like we're pushing top, right?
Yeah,
How do we know they don't need us mid?
I don't know.
Well, they shouldn't
We
need
have
you
an Nivea.
unless
We have an
yeah,
Nivea.
they shouldn't need you, right? Unless a fight is breaking out, you don't take a look. If something happens, you take a look, but it doesn't look like they're fighting. So pushing is very good, right? You want to be making money. So this is fine, right? And then here, this is the same. This is actually the example I asked you, right? Which is if there's a bunch of fighting happening top of your bot, what do you do? So this is the same example. They're fighting bot, you just push top, right? So this is perfectly fine. We'll say this is winning, right? Oh, and then Lux comes, you're gonna she already missed, so you can actually kill her, right? You're gonna jump on her.
But I didn't.
Right, so that's the idea is if they do this, I do this, right? In terms, this is just like the fighting idea. You can definitely take a look at is you know, how do we know we can kill her? Right here. How do we know we can kill her? Right when she did that.
She used everything.
Yes, she used everything. So what's the plan? You you take tower, and then you jump on her. And then after that, once you think of that, you say, you look at the map. Right? Because remember, whenever you try and do something, you look at the map.
Yeah,
That's the process.
I was very upset if I could take this one because I thought was it Rakan? Yeah, I think I was unsure if Rakan would come. But then
okay. So yeah, then if you're like, okay, Rakan could be here, then we don't want this, right? Sure, that's fine, right? The fact that you pushed out was really good, right? Basically, winning the game without having to work as hard. And then here, this is just what's wrong with this picture?
Well, I get caught.
But you know, how do we know this is not good?
Well, I can't see, and well, I can see Renekton. That's the only one I can see. So it could be a 3v4, and I'm split off from Anivia and Jenna.
Right, it's 3v4 basically, right? It's just the idea of numbers, right? Map awareness and numbers combined, right? So it doesn't matter what you do here. It's just I don't know how you can do anything here, right? So that's how you know you want to leave, right? And you don't even know if Camille has teleport because we didn't press tab, right? I can't even see. So apparently she doesn't because all this is happening. So you want to leave, right? You don't want to stay here. So that's how we know this is going really poorly is because we're trying to fight 4v5.
Yeah, and then I go forward and it's just like
there's just nothing you can do. So I think the times you die, we are in a position where you cannot win, right? 4v5. You don't know where they are. Anything like that is you cannot win, right? And then the other mistake is whenever we're trying to fight, we're not really thinking our moves out mechanically, right? What am I gonna do exactly, right? Those are the real two big things I think we're looking at today is the only real mistakes you're making are these, and it's kind of impacting the rest of the game, right? Because you can't really farm your waves if you're dead, right? For example, or it's kind of we're missing team fights change because we miss follow up or something like that. So I think those are the things you want to take a look at, right? Okay, so the map awareness thing. right, is what we already discussed over and over again, right? If you say it's not a problem, I'll believe you. But if it is ever a problem, this is what you want to do, right? You want to do anything, you look at the map, right?
Yes.
You want to push mid, you look at the map first, okay? You want to fight, you look at the map. You want to last hit a minion, you look at the map, right? This is you have to be so paranoid about the map that whenever I'm walking places, I'm looking at the mini map as I walk, because you're not going to see them unless they show up on the map, right? You know what I'm saying? So the first indicator that they're there is they're on the map. So make that your bread and butter, right? And then the second thing you want to take a look at is making sure we're not fighting 4v5, right? Because I think that a lot of times you're sticking around even if you know it's like 4v5 or something like that. Even if you know you have less people, or kind of staying around, and you never want to stay around unless you have a specific way to win, right? Like this Renekton, how do you know you can just go on him?
Wait,
down here, he's like
yeah,
how do you know?
You can see the rest of the team.
Yes, right. He's gonna be 4v1. His team cannot come in time because they have no TP, right? And it's not. I don't think Rammus can get here in time, right? He has to charge up his Q or whatever. You're gonna kill him really quick. So that's how you know. It's just you can use map awareness and this man advantage idea the other way around. Instead of just preventing kills, you can use it to we can catch this guy because his team isn't here, right? And then here, how do you know this is really bad?
Because there are 4 people there.
Yes, there are more people. There are more people. So you guys are either gonna lose this or it's gonna go even. But either way, nothing good can happen, right? Literally nothing good can happen here. So you're either gonna get caught or it's just there's nothing you can do. You like put yourself in an unwinnable position basically. Maybe you could have out mechanic. Yeah, you're just dead, right? You could have like maybe out mechanics him, by ulting or whatever, but. You can also put that in reverse. They could have played perfectly and you would have lost no matter what, right? So there are kind of 3 big ideas I want you to look at, right? In this order, okay? 1 is map awareness, right? You want to do anything, right? You want to do anything. You want to push this wave, you look at the map. That's how I knew you're going to die, right here, right? I looked at the map and I said, there are more people, right? The second thing you want to do can be tied into the first, which is you never fight with less people. Okay, so let's say you have less people mid. What do you do instead?
I can go top.
Yes, you can go top because you see the mid, right? The reason why we can't clear this wave safely is because they're going to run at you and then you don't have a response, right? They don't even have to run at you. Jinx is going to throw his ulti and then you guys are stuck, right? Nivea is stuck, so you guys are donezo here, right? And then, you say, we see them here, we can just go top, right? So you already know what you can do instead. You just have to be aware of that this is dangerous, right? They're even like missing random shit and they're just gonna get you anyways, right?
Yeah.
So
just we stick around.
That's that's like a big idea, okay? You look at the map anytime you want to do something, don't take 4v5. The second thing you can work on is mechanics, right? And I say this is secondary because, even though we're missing kills and, fights could be going better, we put ourselves in such a bad spot that the mechanics doesn't even matter yet, right? So but if you want to take a look at mechanics, that's where you look at, right? If my team catches them, what's my response, right? If Alistar goes in, what do I do, right? Or if Alistar is going on me, what do I do? Or if Alistar is going on my support, what do I do, right? So if instead of, the reason why I tell people to not go for a poke on Caitlyn is because they're not thinking these steps first. And this is the first, you have to do that before you can poke. Otherwise, you poke them, they engage you, you die, right? And it's just like, oh shit, that's not good. So it's the same kind of idea. And then this is like the same thing, right? Is they're missing who can stop me? Something like maybe Rakan and Renekton. It looks like it should be okay, right? But you need to know that they're coming, right? You need to know. So that's the reason why you guys haven't won yet. It's because we kind of try to do this 3 times in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all missing. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. See, Jen is just gonna die. So Oh no!
Then I get caught. I don't know why I'm out there.
Right, they have more people.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't fight.
I
right?
don't even need to catch the wave. So.
Right, it's not your job. It's Anivia. So maybe if they go on Anivia, what do you do? Right. That's the kind of fighting idea we're talking about. Is Rakan ult Anivia? What do I do? Maybe you can aim Rammus. Right. You ulti Rammus. Right. Maybe you can aim Rakan. Right. You're gonna just hit the closest guy. Hitting the closest guy is fine. Right. That's all you need to do really. But to get to the next step, you ask yourself, what's my response, right? Like Warwick's like, I'm gonna charge in here when he ults or something like that, and it clearly works, right? Because there's no way to stop him.
Yeah.
So I want to see this, but I can't see this. But yeah,
Oh, you want to see that? Yeah.
he just runs them down because they have no way to stop him, right? That's kind of the idea. So that's something you could work on as well, right? I would say that's more that more applies to the laning phase than the other stuff, because I think out of lane you've been doing fine, right? It's just in lane our response is kind of weird, right? It's like different, like the Saber thing we were talking about. It kind of didn't make sense how it was different every time, right? Oh, you can get hit by a Q here if you're not careful. Oh, okay.
Nah,
You didn't have it, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's good. That's good.
I saw that. That's why I.
And then they're all missing here, so we're gonna get Rakan ultied here. So that's super dangerous, right? Same thing here, right? Anything like this, they're just gonna ulti over the wall. So I think those are the two big ideas that help you in the mid game, right? Look at the map. Anytime you want to do anything, you want to rotate top, you check the map. Okay, you want to literally do anything. You want to take a camp, you look at the map. You want to push, you want to look at the map, right? You do it until you're sick of the phrase "look at the map." Okay, that's what I want you to think. You're gonna do this over and over again. And then the second thing is definitely don't fight 4v5. Like literally never, right? Unless it's like the freest thing you've ever seen, some kind of Galio Oriana Twitch wombo combo or some crazy shit. You never fight 4v5, right?
Yeah.
And then the third thing is in lane, you need to ask yourself, if they do this, I do this, right? Yeah. That's purely fighting, right? Purely on the mechanics side. Honestly, my first advice is don't even do that yet. Just stick to 2 champions, right? Keep playing Tristana, and then when you played only Tristana, only Caitlyn, then you still have these problems. Then you do that, right? You say in lane, what's my response, right?
Okay.
But these 3 things I think is the core of the reason why you might have some issues with gameplay, right? And then somehow you guys randomly win. What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
and then you guys win. So that's kind of funny, but
what's going on there?
I don't know, but you know, it's the basic idea, right? We can't even look at team fighting because I don't think I've even seen a fight in these 4 games. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of these 3 things happens first. You know, it goes wrong, and then we can't even team fight. So for sure, you know, you remember how you were like, you know, I don't know when I help my team or pick farming. In your case, you pick farming over helping your team more times than not, right? Because
yes.
or you should be doing that. You should be doing that. Yes, because you keep helping, you keep trying to help like a Nivea 3v5 or this Inferno Dragon 2v5. If they have more people, don't fight. Bottom line. I don't care if it's a Baron. I don't care if it's Inferno Dragon. Maybe if it's an Elder Dragon, you guys are losing the game. You know, basically, if there are more people, don't fight. Okay. And if your team needs you, then you stay safe. You can look to help, but you can't die. Okay. That's the idea, right? I think you know those big ideas are what's holding you back right now. Like that's your consistency issue, at least. From these games you've shown me, that's like the issue you're having is these things being put together. Like to me, it looks like you don't even get to play the game whenever something like this happens. Let me see if we can get to it. You just show up out of fog of war, you die, right? I think that happened every game, right? So something like this, it's like you don't even get to play the game. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do to win this fight, right? Yeah. Like absolutely nothing, right? If I'm playing this fight, I'm saying I'm leaving because I cannot win this, right? So that's what you should be thinking, is that they just have more people, right? You need to get out, right? There's absolutely, is there anything you could have done here to win this fight?
No.
Absolutely not. There's nothing, absolutely nothing, right? So that's how you know it's donezo, right? So that's the real big idea I want you to take a look at, is this idea of looking at the map whenever anything happens, right? Like say to yourself, look at the map, right? That's what I do. Whenever I forget stuff, like what I'm working on in game, I like say it out loud, so I literally cannot forget. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, look at the map when I'm between CS. Look at the map. Look at the map. Look at the map. Oh, he's ganking. Look at the map, right? Something happens topside. You look at the map, right? Oftentimes, when your jungler is ganking top and they kill someone, you'll see a lot of people try and fight 2v2 bot, and then enemy jungler comes out, right? By looking at the map, you would be like, oh, you know, my jungler is top, so they're coming bot, right?
And do I ping my support to get out and then just run?
If you think something is bad, you spam ping, Right? You just spam ping out.
Right.
We're out.
Because
Again now.
sometimes I'm like, maybe this could work. You know, maybe if we dive this and the jungler comes, maybe we'll be able to get a kill.
Right, you just always want to get out if you're not sure if it works, right? So, and the way you learn if it works or not is your team will keep going, and then based on what happens, you'll be like, oh, I was right or I was wrong, right? So yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want you to work on. Okay, these two ideas first, and then on top of that, play 2 champions, dude. I cannot stress this enough because like there's just too much random champions here.
Scroll down a bit.
Okay, you want to see this? Okay, you want to see this?
Wait, scroll down even more. All right.
It's like, where did Ezreal come out? Like, where did Ezreal come out of here? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I want to see. This is what you want to see. Okay, only 2 champions. Only 2 champions. Okay, this is
the
good.
amount of deaths there you dropped. I don't know.
Yeah, this is like
that's a good day, right? That's a good day.
This is good. This is very good, right? This is what we want to see. But I'm telling you, like, changing champions is gonna contribute to you losing. I promise. Okay. How does Vayne pop up out of nowhere?
Oh right? Yeah, well, after losing 4 games in a row, you.
Right? Yeah. Where does Twitch come out of the woodwork? How does this?
Whoa! I have a reason for Twitch, right? So when I tilt like beyond control, I'm like, okay, well, who can get me back on track? Well, Jinx and Twitch because they're hyper scaling.
Right. You just ignore that. You say Tristana only. Tristana for life. Okay. That's what I want you to think because this is extremely good. You play 1 champion, you see your results, and then you play Ezreal, and then all of a sudden it's a losing streak. You play Varus Xayah, right? That's how it derails. You win too much, but you want to see this. This is what I want to see. Okay. And then. It's like, how does this happen? You go 20 games without playing Tristana almost. You see this, right?
Well,
it's
I mean, honestly, like, I didn't play Tristana at all back there.
Oh, no. Right, it's just
not
too
Tristana.
much.
That's not Tristana area. That's Twitch and Saya.
There are just too many champions. That's just my personal opinion. But, I think there's just too much stuff going on here, right? Like, look at my OPGG. Let me see if we can see some similarities. Okay. Okay, this is not a good example, but
you're like, yeah, look at this.
There's just Caitlyn, Twitch, Tristana is really what's going on here, right? Actually, we can't even go down more. What's going on? Okay, let's take a look at this one. But the general idea is you stick to the same thing over and over again, right? Let's go back to an example. I think we're trolling here, but not a good example. But notice how we're losing games. We're losing games because we're switching champions every game. Look, we're like trolling with Kog'Maw. It's actually trolling. Okay, I promise you, it does not help you get better by switching champions, right? Like if you're a challenger and you're losing Diamond 1, this is how you'd lose, right? You're just playing. What is this? Where did this Tristana come from? Right? It doesn't make sense. You need to stick to 2 champions, okay? I promise. Like this, we're trolling here. We're playing Vayne. That's trolling, okay? That's what I want you to think, right? You just stick to a few champions, and it'll fix so many of your basic problems. I promise you, okay? And one of the reasons why you need to stick to these champions is because your response in terms of missing people changes based on who you play. You're playing Ezreal, you're gonna hop the wall. You're playing Ashe, all of a sudden you can't hop the wall, right? Yeah. Or you're playing Varus, you can't hop the wall. It's different. Right? It's very different. Instead, your response is, I'm gonna ulti them, right? So that's it's just there's so many reasons why you gotta stick to the same champion. But I think I think the basic errors will disappear when you just focus on 1 champion, okay? 1 or 2, right. 3 max. We don't want to see anything else. 3 or less, okay? And you do not need more than 3 champions. Because AD carries don't usually get banned unless it's like Kai'Sa or something. So
Caitlyn gets banned every game in Platinum EU West.
Then Tristana it is, right? No one picks Tristana nowadays, so this is fine. Tristana. Then Tristana, what's your 3rd pick then? We'll reserve a 3rd pick, but in the rare cases you can't pick either. You have a 3rd.
Right? It's not gonna happen. But
you don't want to pick like Xayah. Like it doesn't make sense. Xayah.
That's probably a good end of sentence.
Right, you don't want to pick these champions that are like hard to play and we don't have games on it. So that's what I would say. 2 champions, 3 champions at most, and then the idea of you need to check your map anytime you do anything, and never 4v5. Okay. The reason why you're missing farm is because you try and help these fights that are 0 out of 10, right? These fights are impossible to win, and you try and help anyways, right? Or you start a 4v5 and you can't win, right? Anything like that you don't want to do, right? So that's what I recommend. Those two things put together. Right, you go into game, you say, I'm gonna look at the map every time. That's your first step. Okay, that's what I want you to think. Do that for 10 games in a row. Okay, you want to push away, you look at the map. You want to last hit a minute, you look at the map. I don't care if you're dying because you're looking at the map, because the more times you look at the map, the faster it'll get. Okay, like you get to the point where you glance at the map, you know everything. Right? That's what we're trying to get here. And then once you can do that, you can work on something else. Okay, but that's the big idea right now is what I want you to work on.
Right.
Sound good?
Yeah.
You have any questions? You want to go back, review anything we talked about?
Well, no, it's just like one thing, I guess. Sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes in games, you're like, okay, well, I want to go to a lane, which is and get farm. Like you need farm when you're losing, right? And then your top laner, for example, just pushed out top lane, and he roams mid lane where you're going, and then he takes the farm in mid lane, so you go top lane, but he goes top lane.
Right, he's trolling, and you ignore that. Okay, like it will happen. It will happen. You just get as much as you can. You stay in your lane, and you get as much as you can, right? But it's like the same example as your support starts running down mid. What do? There's literally nothing you can do. So you say, yo, I need this farm, and then he starts pinging you, you mute him, okay? There's nothing else you can do. You just tell him that, yo, I need this farm. So even if it happens, you just try and work on the things you're working on, right? So like, let's say you're trying to work on getting maximum amount of farm in mid game, and you go to the correct lane, but your jungle takes everything. You didn't do anything wrong. You're still working on the same thing, right? Just because this one dude messed with you this one game doesn't mean it's going to happen every game. So in those cases, you just try and deal with it, right? But it will happen, right? So the best you can do is just say something like, back ping them once, and then they don't back off. You just sit there and just farm with them, right? But know that you're trying to do the right thing. So
okay.
So that's what I would say.
I don't know if I had anything. Oh yeah. Well, it was pretty tough to see, as you said, there were no team fighting at all.
Yeah, there's no team fighting.
Yeah, but like there was no team fighting, so it's a bit hard to say. But like positioning in team fights, like that's a very general thing to say.
Okay, we can take a look at some of mine.
So, yeah, because like I think that is something that I also do pretty poorly.
Okay, let's take a look. We're gonna whip out a Tristan example, so it'll be as relevant as possible. So, in any team fight, what is your job?
To deal damage and survive.
Okay, what's your first priority?
Survive.
Right, your first priority is to survive.
Deal damage, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
No. Your first priority is to survive. Okay, so take a look at this Baron fight. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you that their top laner died, but we're severely losing the game. So we make a desperate play.
Did you upload this yesterday?
Oh yeah, I uploaded this the other day, right? Or yesterday. Did you see this?
I think I saw this yesterday. Oh, was it? Yeah, it was yesterday, right?
All right, these are good examples then. So let's take a look. So your first priority is to live, right? And your second priority is you hit the closest guy, okay? And then your third priority is if you can see anything different, anything that's not hit the closest guy, and it works, then you can do it, right? Otherwise, you just hit the closest guy. So whatever, we're just trying to zone Shaco. The important stuff happens now, okay? So in this Baron fight, are we safe?
I can't see more than I can see 2 enemies. Are there 3?
But we have so many wards that they actually cannot be on top of us, right? They actually cannot go for us. And then the second question is, can we hit anyone?
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
No.
Yeah, I agree. We can't hit shit. And then the third is, do you see any kind of alternative play? Like we can jump in, insta kill someone, or anything like that?
Not really. Okay, at this point. Well, you can get some basics on Karma, maybe. but it's a
Right,
bit
but
risky.
we're not doing anything other than
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Right? You're just hitting the closest guy, right? So that's exactly what I'm gonna do, right? You don't see anything else. You just hit the closest guy, right? Hit the closest guy. Oh, you don't chase, right? We hit Zaya twice. That's good enough, right?
Right.
Your job is literally stay alive. You see this? You think we should jump in here?
No, I watched your video yesterday.
Right. You're not sure, right? So it's really the
Right.
same thing, right? It doesn't matter. Let's see if we can find a different Tristana game. All right, let's see.
That's a bit troll. Well, all right.
Let's see if we can find. This is probably a loss, but this game this looks pretty tragic. But let's take a look. What's going on here? All right, tower defense. All right, what's going on here? Super far back, right? Where there's no chance we're gonna get engaged on by, let's say, Brand or anything like that, or Annie, right? Staying away from Annie. You see an alternative play, you go for it, right? We can jump in and kill Brand, right? And then you hit the closest guy, right? And then it's not safe, you leave. So all the same ideas, right? That's what you were doing was basically correct, but your only problem was that you couldn't even get to those fights.
Team fight.
Yeah, when there was a regular fight, you were doing really well, I think. But it's just most of the time you created a situation where it's just unwinnable, right? So this guy's trying to kill our ass. We need to leave, right? If there's nothing else you can do, then there's nothing else you can do, right? So we'd say that fight is very good because we found something out of nothing, right? There's nothing else we could do. So this game was just super unfortunate, but
these can't carry it. Like I think a big problem is that when I do well, right? So when I don't have these games that are like I showed, where I die stupidly and stuff. Like when I have the streak, how should I say this? Right. So when I do well, I'm like, this goes really well. I'm winning every game. And then when I do poorly, sometimes I make the mistakes that I that I did in, for example, the Saber game, and like when I don't look at the map and stuff. But then I have the Caitlyn game where I went 1-0-1, like up there, and I still get more tilted by it because I'm thinking, could I have done much more in that game?
Right. You probably that's the end was just unlucky.
I thinking, do I need to improve on my team fighting so I can carry that game?
I know what you mean. It's just
and you see that 7-7-13 Saber game. Like that's also a game. It's like really late game, and I felt like, okay, I'm Saber. It's really late game. I should be able to carry this, but I wasn't.
This is the idea. This is the idea. You want to be as a complete AD carry as possible, right? So the only thing you need to worry about with these games is not the outcome, right? Because in this game we took a look at, and there's nothing you could do, right? Sure, we could have had better mechanics, whatever, but overall it was just absolutely dunzo, right? The real important thing to know is that you're working on something in this game, and you only care if you got better or not. Right. If you're working on map awareness this game and you never died again because your map awareness was perfect, you don't care about the outcome because you're working on your map awareness, right? Same thing with any of these games. The outcome does not matter, right? If you lose because of some late game team fight or late game mechanics, but you're working on map awareness this game and your map awareness is perfect, you're happy, right? Because you want to work on team fight, that comes later, right? You'll do that when your map awareness is good, right? And then once your map awareness is perfect, then you can work on something else, and then all of a sudden you'll be really good in every area and you'll start climbing, right? That's kind of how it works. But whenever something like this happens, you just tell yourself, dude, it doesn't matter, right? It is unwinnable. At least we got to work on the thing we're working on, because that's the only thing that matters, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe if you're trying to work on a team fight and then game was done, so maybe you might be upset, but then you say, oh, let's just work on something else.
Like the thing I generally would lose in games, like getting farm versus helping my team, like that's I don't know how to balance that.
I'll tell you that you can't even do that yet because of this other stuff right now. Okay, so definitely work on this stuff first, because see, a lot of times you're like, oh, you went top and you're like, clear, I can't remember, but you went top, you killed everything. I was like, great. And then you went mid and it was 4v5 and I was like, oh, that's preventing you from clearing more waves. So you need to fix that first, because you actually can't do that if you're dead. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's like the big idea I would say you should take a look at first, right? And then you'll get like win streaks like this, and it looks good. Like like 10 CS a minute this game. So it's like we know you can do it. It's just you need to, I guess, like you said, build consistency. And this is how we do it. Is you have this method, you work on this method until you do it every single game, and then you work on a different method, right? Like say the method of map awareness or counting number of people on the map, and then once it's perfect, once you never do that, you can do something else, right? I think that's the thing I think you should be working on now, though, right? Like from these games that we saw today, that's what I think you need to take a look at. And then once all that is perfect and you have a method for everything, then you look at your deaths and plays TV and you take a look at that, right? Or you need more. You're like, how do I be more proactive instead of minimizing mistakes, right? Then you go to YouTube and you watch someone play Tristana, right? And then you copy them. You say, why do they do this instead of this, right? And then you can learn that way.
Why didn't they go 1v4?
Right. Yeah. Why didn't he jump in here? But that's what I want you to. That's what I want you to work on for now.
Right.
Sound good? Any other questions, by the way?
No, I think that was
okay.
I'm pretty sure that was it.
For sure. Consolidate your pool, right? No more. You just pick 3 champions, you cut everything else. Okay. And then if you want to switch champions, you have to cut a champion from your pool. Okay, that's what I want you to think. And then after that, you need to take a look at this idea of map awareness and 4v5. I think that's the biggest thing with these games. Right. That Caitlyn game was actually unlucky, but the Tristana game, the what was the other one?
Saber.
Right, the Saber game. Oh yes, the Saber game. Those are the things you need to take a look at because that's your mid game mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, like I won the Saber game by they surrendered. It was really weird, but I felt like when I played it, I was like, oh, I can carry this, but then I did mistakes.
Right, you got carried basically, right? Yeah. So that's the idea. Honestly, all your mid game mistakes are coming from 4v5 and map awareness. Literally all of them. Okay, that's the only thing you need to take a look at. And then for laning, it's just the mechanics part. But I think the picks are gonna fix that. Okay. When it comes to team fights, I think from what I saw, you were playing very safe, and I think that was really good. It's just that when you started 4v5s, there's no amount of safe that's gonna let you win. So take a look at that. Sound good?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. If there's no other questions, let me know how things go. Good luck in your games. And if you do have questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Good luck in your games, dude. I believe you have this. You got this. So show me more.
Bronze 5 in a month. Don't worry.
Oh, God.
I got this.
Show me more of this, okay? All this Tristana only. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
All right.
You
good.
subscribe to Tristana.
Exactly. All right. Good luck, man.
Yeah. You too.